Just gather those up. All right, we'll call our meeting to order. And I have a motion moved by Councillor McPherson, seconded by Councillor Bellefontaine, that council adopts the agenda of regular meeting. Yes.
One addition, Your Worship.
Okay.
13A,
13A,
correspondence, request from Noah Enterprises.
okay,
It's just an email, and I can read that.
okay, request from Noah. So, and does anybody else have any other additions? Okay,
Excuse me?
and I'll read the motion as that council adopts the agenda of regular meeting RM12-2019 as amended.
Okay, a minute. I'm getting away.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
It's gonna be like this for the next 2 weeks.
Uh-oh, you're the boss, are you?
Well, spring gathering,
Oh,
leadership
yes, of
meeting.
course.
Okay, so all in favor of this amended agenda, hands up. Okay, we got 7 in favor, none against. Agenda is adopted. Any declarations of interest in any of the items tonight? Yes?
What, did you add NOAA to it?
Yep.
What
Yeah.
is it about?
It's a
Because
request.
I'm on the NOAA board. Do I have to declare?
It's a request for dirt at the end of the island. So, that's all.
Okay. And we do have one counselor absent tonight.
Oh, I suppose I've declared on that liquor rationing.
Oh,
I'll
right,
declare
okay.
it for now.
Okay. And did we have any notification from Councillor Morrow that he wouldn't be attending this evening? No? Okay. All right, so we can't excuse him if he hasn't given us notification. Delegations, there are none this evening. So on item 7, we've got a series of minutes, a whole collection of minutes, and I've got a motion moved by Councillor Bellefontaine, seconded by Councillor Hassan, that council approves the minutes of basically all of them. Regular meeting RM10-2019 of May 21, 2019. The committee of the whole meeting, COW 06-2019 of May 29, 2019. The regular meeting RM11-2019 of June 3rd, 2019. Special meeting SM01-2019 of June 10th, 2019. And committee of the whole meeting, which was COW 07-2019 of June 10th, 2019. Is there any clarifications or changes that, yes, Councilor McPherson?
On the May 21st, I see here it's table items, no business. Councillor Grote and Councillor Lafferty left the room. Marie, did you declare conflict for the liquor rationing?
No.
That's
No.
And it says,
She just left the room. I don't know if
You left the room to get a drink.
I wanted to drink
Maybe for
water.
some other reason, yeah.
Yeah.
oh, okay,
I just put it in there.
okay. No, that's all.
Okay. Well then, if there's nothing to say as presented, all in favor?
No, on all of them?
Yeah, as a bulk,
Wait a sec, no,
no?
I thought we were, no.
We can go through them one by one.
We should at least talk about them. I
Okay,
mean, you've got them, and I don't think they should all be on one big.
yeah, there's just so many, but okay,
Okay,
how
we'll
about
go- keep
the
going.
first one? The next one, committee of the whole, COW 06-2019 of May 29th. Any issues with that particular set of minutes?
I don't believe there was one now.
Okay.
Nope.
All right, then the regular meeting RM11-2019 of June 3rd.
I believe Councilor Grote has some.
Yes, Councilor Groh.
Can you present us with the via telephone information, please? We missed that on that meeting that we should have asked for that because I've never seen it done ever before, never heard of it being done. And all of a sudden, this is sprung all of a sudden at a meeting. Can you please provide us with the information?
Right, it's in the council procedures bylaw, if we have that there. We could,
The authority that you can do it?
Yeah, like we've never done it. I've never seen it done.
Just
If
one
it's,
second.
Pardon?
Can you push down?
Oh.
Just showing. We're not ready to cut it yet.
well, while we're waiting for that, I mean, that question comes, I guess, because that was what was happening during that meeting. That we had telephone call-ins on that meeting.
it's just a question I have.
Yeah, okay, well, we might have an answer there.
It is in the Cities, Towns, and Villages Act, section 24(1). Council may conduct a meeting using electronic means of communication if it enables the council members to hear and speak to each other and allows the public to hear the members. Council members participating in a meeting referred to in subsection 24(1) are deemed to be present at the meeting. So that's the authority within the act that you can do this.
And then we also have something in our council procedures as well.
Yeah, same language as in the procedures bylaw as well.
Maybe you could just read that, what it says in the
Procedures.
council procedures. There it says may. And, attendance. Right there. Is that it?
That's about missing meetings.
Yeah, really. Can we get that clarified? Yeah, I was wondering about that technology.
Yeah, I had that as recorders.
All right, I'll speak again while he's looking for that.
Yeah.
Councilors, I think we should discuss that. Do we want to use that as a policy? Because that is a vague statement they put in there. Is that our policy now, that we don't have to miss any meetings? Is that what we do?
For one, I know the audio quality was pretty bad,
Right.
the hearing. I think if that is something that's going to be implemented, we need to look into
Okay. We'll look at it.
Something.
There's actually quite a long, I'm pretty sure it's in there, but we'll keep looking and see what comes up. But yeah, that sounds like something that makes sense, what Councillor Rowe is saying, that if we're going to do that, we should find a system that's a little better for everybody to communicate with each other, because it's difficult to know.
I hung on the phone at meetings, and I think a bunch of people here have too. You aren't in the meeting.
Yeah,
You can't hear, you don't know what's going on. Every once in a while, I turn to the phone and say, what do you think? About what? You
yeah,
can't hear. And we were interrupted twice during that meeting for phone-ins.
Yeah.
I think we really need to look at how we handle phone-in attendance at meetings.
yeah, we can look at the system and how we're doing that, that's for sure. Okay. Now, which one was it that we were on? The regular meeting, RM11-2019 of June 3rd, 2019, as presented. Everyone's okay with that one? Okay. I'm just kind of looking for if anyone has a problem. If not, we'll just call for adoption of all of them at the same time. How about the special meeting SM01-2019 of June 10th, 2019? Any concerns or amendments, changes on that? Okay, then the last one, Committee of the Whole, COW 07-2019. Everyone satisfied with the presentation on that one? Okay.
I'm wondering, just in the committee of the wholes, like I see we've gone to a more streamlined minutes. And I assume that's attributed to the audio recording system and everything that we have here. But the committee of the wholes, I still feel like councillors' opinions should be expressed and written out for the record. Like when I look through this, unless I watch the video afterwards, I can't really tell what was said by whom and who had the ideas for what. It's just kind of council decided this. There was no kind of discussion. That is good information moving forward when we come to the regular meeting and vote on the things we discussed. It's good things to have in front of you. So you can say, oh, this person said this, and it might save us time making our decisions at the regular meetings.
Okay, we could look at that as well, see how councillors feel about adding extra information. There is a reason why there's less information. It's because these are the official legal documents that represent what happened at the meeting, and if you start to put in summaries of what people have said and things like that, it could lead to
It's backed up by recording.
yeah, but the recording's not the official, it's not legal. People wouldn't be able to take us to court over what's on that video.
I think they'd have some interesting times.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Because when we say, somebody might give a personal opinion in here, and when we, adopt it, it's like that person has to now agree that that's really what I meant. Maybe I didn't quite mean
So
that,
what do you
maybe I
say?
said something else.
Well, when you sit at this table, you really should say what you mean.
Right.
I mean, that is kind of a standard, like at any meeting, that what you say at the table is what you meant. Like, I'm not asking for every single word, but like if for Fontaine says something about the SPCA and I was on the fence on which way I was going to go on the SPCA. If I had council should go with the SPCA, that doesn't refresh my memory of the discussion of the committee of the whole. If I look at Councillor Bellefontaine made this point, and this point, I can go, oh yeah, those were really good points. And it gives me more information going into our regular meeting where we make our decisions. It's a good tool for councillors.
Well, we could look at that.
And I don't think it worked too bad when we used to do it before
Yeah.
this.
There's definitely more work to transcribe those kinds of minutes. As I say, it's what do you put in and what do you not put in? That becomes now the decision of the transcriber rather than just a very factual, here's what was presented, here's what was discussed. Any decision by council to move forward a general agreement on something. I suppose if there's a real contentious issue, you want to make sure that the opposing views have been at least documented. But a lot of these things are just, you know, a little bit of a round table, and at the end, a decision comes out, and it doesn't make that big a difference how that decision came about. Councillors came to the decision, and that's the only really important thing that matters.
My opinion on that is not right, but that is your opinion as well. I don't know if other councillors are happy with that or not, but
Right.
I like having information from what we discussed in our committee meetings.
We could open that up. We can talk about that at a later time, that's for sure. Yes, Deputy Mayor?
I'm very happy with the way the minutes are done. I think it captures everything that we passed, and that's the most important thing. And then we even asked for counted votes, which is good too. So I'm quite happy with it.
To clarify,
That's my opinion.
I'm just talking about the committee of the whole, not the regular meetings, not where we pass the motions. It's where we discuss the things
Yeah.
that come to the regular.
Yeah. No, I like it. I got no problem with it. It captures everything. I think you guys are doing a good job. Thank you very much.
Councillor Grow?
I'm kind of getting on side with what Councilor Rose says, because we have in this package here five sets of meetings, which if you do math, that encompasses like up to 2 months of memory. And I was doing that. Now, which meeting was this? And I would have to go through and try and figure it out. I'm sorry, I do think we do need some information provided, and the committees is, you know, just a brief of what is discussed, and you're talking about discussion. I think we do need at least this, maybe more at times for some of the discussion points. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll bring it up at a committee of the whole, where we can ask ourselves what we want to do with those minutes, if there's more detail required. So I'll give it back to the motion. Is everybody in favor of the adoption of these minutes as presented then? Show of hands, all in favor? Okay, 8 in favor, none against?
Actually, I put my hand down, sorry.
Okay, that's so.
Can't really,
Votes against.
I can't really complain about the minutes and then
Okay.
vote for them.
7-1, and motion carried. All right, thanks. Just getting these minutes signed off. All right. Back to our agenda. Mayor's report. All I really have to report is I did attend the grad ceremonies on Saturday, and I congratulated the 16 graduands on their achievement. It was a good event, and I guess our gifts are collaborative gifts with Lidley First Nation and the Métis are here or on their way still.
They're coming in 2 shipments. The original shipment was 15, and then there was a later 2 to come. So we did get the 15 today. I expect the other 2 to be in the next by the end of the week. And
Can we see them?
no.
I'm gonna see them in
Okay.
passport.
I will let you all know.
Send it back.
Yeah.
We don't we don't.
Okay, well, this will be part of his SAO report, because that's it for me, unless anybody had any questions.
Well, I think the Métis just gave out money to the grads.
I saw that, yeah.
Can I have some? Are we done college or were they on rapid?
Nicely
Yeah.
packaged.
One of them, whatever boxes they are.
Yeah.
That is the watch for the ladies.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
It's really nice.
And they're not Rolexes.
Awesome.
Fashion statement.
That's perfect.
Are you gonna get dry glass out?
And for the men.
There you go.
Oh, go ahead.
Nice.
We
You know
were,
something about what? you-
we
you
were
know
told
something
by
about
young
what-
people that young people would like these.
I just look at the face and go, "Oh, you don't look at the.
Yeah, I do.
That's very pretty.
Really good.
Right, so I'm turning it over to our SAO to complete his report. That's part of it. I
That's
guess.
part, yes. So we'll be letting folks know on Facebook that when they're all here, they we'll let the folks know to come in and pick them up, and all will be great. Updates.
It is. Did you have something to do with this?
Update Stantec with respect to the curling club work. Structural people will be in Fort Simpson the week of July 7th to do the work they need to do. Given everything being positive, that will be an early to mid-August tender call with a closing at the end of August, and work through however long it would take to pour a slab. So still are confident to have the slab down before the season starts.
One question on that.
Yes.
What is the tender for? What are you going out for tender for?
The installation of a concrete slab with drainage, things of that nature. The details will come through the engineer's design and scoping.
Would we not be as wise to go and negotiate with Rose Construction, who is the only cement maker in town? I mean, you go to tender and like, nobody can, I do not see how anybody can compete with a local. I just don't see it. Unless somebody else in town can come up with cement, I don't see that we need to actually go to tender for a month when there's really only one logical person to do the work.
I anticipate that when Stantec completes their work, that may be one of the options they present to council as a method of procurement.
And to speed up the process by a month.
Yeah, starting in October, it makes it really touchy for the curling season, because it takes so much time to cure.
Deputy Mayor.
Would that be your decision to make, or does it have to be passed by council?
If the engineers were bringing some alternative recommendations, I would want to bring that to council.
For approval?
Yeah.
Thank you.
As well, they will be starting work with respect to the compost pad design and that project moving forward, as well as the underground work within the community, that being some of the water and sewer mains that we identified as being problematic and challenging. So that work will be starting, and we'll be looking to do some tendering on that this summer. Again. And basically, Your Worship, that's the biggest updates I have for council.
Can I ask you a question, just
Sure.
if that's all right? Is there something wrong with our street sweeper? I haven't seen it. And the road, like I saw that they swept kind of the areas where they put the crosswalks. I think one of the main problems with the crosswalks being blown away was all the dirt that was on the roads.
Mhm.
So I'm just wondering
I will check into that,
if you wouldn't mind. Thank you.
and if there is, then we'll get that rectified.
And on that theme, our chip seal and our asphalt, the gravel roads connecting them, every time somebody comes up, you roll stones onto the chip seal. I would suggest that those, at the same time, you keep brushing those back Because that's where a lot of contamination comes, is every driveway, every road pushes the gravel out, and you can see it everywhere. That's what happens with that. So,
Thank you.
Yes, Councillor Grow?
I have another question.
Okay. Now, I'll just wait for a second. Councillor Grote has another question for you.
Yes.
Just on that composting thing there, the pad and the structure thing, there's nobody in Canada builds a building 25 meters by 75 meters. There is no pre-manufactured building that size, so you're gonna have to also plan on that.
Mhm.
But the main question is, PR contracting, that Tire North quoting. Pat was in here twice.
Yes.
To a council and a committee meeting, asking to see his quote on that, what do we call it, he says he didn't send one. Have you got it?
Who didn't send one?
Pat said he didn't send a quote in on that back December. This is that December Tire North.
Okay.
He said he didn't send a quote, and you said that he was higher than Tire North.
So what I did indicate was that PR contracting was called, and there was communication twice with staff person there on the price. And that was what was provided.
Okay, because the way I understand it, he didn't quote. And you were bringing some information forward on that, were you?
Just that was the process. Those were that was the information gathered at that time, compared with another supplier, and that's the information.
Okay, any other questions for the SAO? All right, moving along, tabled items and old business. Councillor Grote leaving the room. Liquor ration, I don't have anything new. Is there some more comments from?
I think we did have something new. We had a letter from the Métis Nation, didn't we?
I guess that is a new thing
That is a
from the
new
last
thing.
meeting. Yeah.
was
We did
emailed out
receive
to
correspondence from the Métis, yeah,
Saying that they are in favor of getting rid of the ration.
or in favor of a plebiscite.
Get rid of the
Maybe the
ration.
general tone was that they didn't care for the existing situation.
Do you want me to bring up the email?
So we do have one, was that given to council, that letter?
That was circulated, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, through email.
yeah,
That wasn't brought to the council. It wasn't in a package. It's just an email.
Just for information.
Yeah.
okay, so, yeah, and we're still working on,
So I will read the letter actually, because there was some question as to the intent of it. The Fort Simpson Métis Nation is of the opinion that a liquor rationing system is not an effective way to reduce substance abuse in the community, and the liquor rationing system should be suspended as soon as reasonably possible.
right.
Just one more piece of information for council that wasn't sure whether we should give the community their say in whether they want to have control over what they do with their lives or not.
Yeah, no, it's good. And we'll try to work to see the position of the Liverpool First Nation, and then put the pieces together and see what we have.
Have you had any luck with the tri-council meeting? I know you said by the next regular meeting you were going to try to have information on that.
Right. And to be honest, I did not have a chance to ask Chief Jerry. Yes.
Okay.
Councilor.
I would suggest that leave it up to the administration to set up the meetings between the leaders. Because I can talk to my leader, and you can talk to yours, and the Métis can talk to theirs, and then try to get a tri-council meeting done that way.
Thank you.
Yeah. Makes it a little more formal. And,
Yeah.
okay. That's a good suggestion. All right. Well, is there any other comments on the liquor ration? For now, I guess we're still gathering information. Okay. Well, let's get Kirby in. Can you shout out to Kirby there?
Kirby,
Come on back. So item 10, committee minutes and recommendations. There are none at this time. Item number 11. I'll just grab the. We should be accepting these. And I don't actually have a motion, but I can make one up. Oh, I've got a copy of those. I just, yeah, I might as well get a blank one. I'll make up a motion so that we can accept the audited financial statements. Could I get a mover and a seconder for this motion that council accept the audited financial statements for the period ended December 31st, 2018? Mover and seconder? Okay, a mover, Deputy Mayor. Antoine. And a seconder? Okay, Councilor Bellefontaine. So again, it's that council accept the audited financial statements for the period ended December 31st, 2018. Any discussion? Yes, Councilor Grove?
There's a few things, a lot I'm not understanding what it is here. But in there on the village, I don't know what page, page 5 it says, the village has a surplus of $890,000, okay. We had fines of $31,500. What were we fined $31,000 for last year?
Fines.
Like it's your statement, you just wrote this up and gave it to us. You should remember what you.
It's revenues.
Fines that we find.
Fines doesn't sound like tax, interest on taxes. That sounds like water board fines or something of that nature to me.
Okay. That particular item is a revenue item. That's money coming into us. So it would be fines and penalties that we have.
It's on the revenue?
Yes.
Okay, good, fine, thank you. Then on the next page, excess revenues, which I don't understand where it came from, but that's fine, I don't know. Capital assets of 2 million. And then you subtract or add the disposable asset. Okay, and you come up with a number of excess revenue of $650,000. Okay, what's the CPI savings account?
Community public infrastructure.
Okay,
So that's the capital. That's our capital.
it's savings, right? You've got in here CPI savings.
Which page are you on?
I'm on page, I don't know, the next one, 6, I guess it is. Yeah. You know, cash from CPI savings of $1,567,000.
Okay, so what that is indicating is that because the operational fund was advancing funds to the capital,
Advancing.
or was paying for the capital expenditures, then the CPI fund was reimbursing the operation fund through the year of $1,567,000. It's just basically a movement of cash throughout the year in terms of how you would pay for your capital expenditures through the year. You may not have all of your CPI funding at the time you're making the actual capital expenditure. So when the funding comes in, you are transferring those funds back into the operating fund to reimburse it.
There's a few other things, but nothing too serious, but, yeah, because when you add $1.5 million, you know, if that's where it comes from, that's fine, but it looked like a shortfall.
Yeah, one of the, I mean, and you alluded to the point earlier, when you make the adjustments for amortization and you look at the adjusted statement of operations,
Yes.
you're comparing 650 versus 572 last year. So from our O&M, both in general and water and sewer, we generate healthy surpluses. So that's you know, that's a very positive thing.
Because we didn't need to do that last year, I'm gathering. Because we had a good year, we had, we had more write-offs. And the capital adjustments are about the same. And more write-offs, and actual revenues were away $2 million. And last year they were $890. It just looks funny to me, but if you've got, okay. And there was one other thing. The gas tax.
Yes.
It has a list of places. Where was that in the, right in the back? I think it was the notes.
Yes. Page 34, Schedule 5.
334. It is right there. Eligible costs, yes. Where did using the gas tax for the efficiencies we're doing with Bradbury and Central Mechanical or whatever it is? Is that allowable?
Yes, it is.
Because I don't see where it would fit in there, except maybe solar project or something like that. Okay, anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna quit there.
Okay. Any other questions, councilors? No? Then all in favor of accepting the audited financial statements for the period ended December 31st, 2018? Show of hands in favor. 8 in favor, none against? 1 against, okay. 7 for, 1 against. Audited financials are adopted. And then we've got some bylaws here. And the first one is the forgiveness of debt. So I've got a motion moved by Councillor Hassan, seconded by Deputy Mayor Antoine, that bylaw 2019-004, forgiveness of debt, Airports North, be read a third time and passed. Any discussion?
Just a request that the bylaws, even if they are in third reading, could be included in the meeting package. That way, if there are any changes, we can review them. It wasn't available in this package.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? All in favor? That's 7 in favor, against? 1. Okay, motion's 2. Sorry, that's 2. Okay, and votes for were 6. Nobody abstained, right? It's 6 for, 2 against. Okay, motion carried. We've got another bylaw. Motion moved by Councillor Hassan, seconded by Deputy Mayor Antoine, that bylaw 2019-008, council procedures, be read a third time and
Once again, those changes were added.
Yes.
Okay, because like I said, that's where it goes to, we didn't get to see the
I
final
understand
version, so I really don't feel comfortable moving forward with passing a version we haven't seen.
Okay.
That's kind of what I'm looking at. It's just we're passing things on, like the forgiveness of debt bylaw. I don't think there was any changes between the first and second reading, so I'm fine with that. But when you get to a whole policy and procedures where there were changes on the second reading, I think council should look at the third and final draft before passing.
Is that a finished?
Yeah, just go to that.
The main thing was, I know you had mentioned about the voting.
Mhm.
This will be on page 24. This was a section that was referred to at the last meeting. Duty of a member to vote. All members present, with the exception of the presiding officer, shall vote when the question is put by the presiding officer. Pursuant to section 36(3) of the Cities, Towns, and Villages Act, and notwithstanding section 27(b)(1), BI of this bylaw, an abstention by a council member does not count as a vote. Third clause, the presiding officer shall not vote on any motion except to cast the deciding vote for or against the motion in the case of a tie.
And there was another thing on B1.
B1,
Recorded
B1 or
vote.
C1?
There's maybe C1 is
Okay.
recorded vote. That's why I have the,
Yeah, a recorded vote is when all members of council are requested to vote.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. Well, that's satisfactory, is it?
I'm fine with that. Like I said, I would still like to see the third readings
It's a good
before.
Final product, yeah,
Oh,
we'll
yeah,
do that.
absolutely.
Just in case, something was missed. All right, then, all in favor of adopting the council procedures, third reading? Show of hands in favor? Okay, 8 in favor, none against. Motion's carried. Bylaws passed. And correspondence and information. We do have a request from Noah. If you'd like to give that letter for us, that's the old way.
Just asking, request for No Enterprises to obtain dirt for use at the daycare center. Since it is for the daycare, we're hoping to obtain this dirt from the end of the island. NOAA requires 6 dump trucks for this project. Any suggestion or recommendation is welcome, and we look forward to a positive response.
Whereabouts at the end of the island?
Probably by the airstrip.
Well, where the village used to have some black dirt, I know, was, there's a little road leading back onto those leased properties that the village has at the end of the airstrip. And now that we're not actually leasing that to anyone else, I suppose we could scrape up a bit of black dirt and make it available.
It's good, it's not further down where the dump was,
No, it's
further up,
not.
because that would be
There.
contaminated.
It's right off the old access to the recycle.
Yeah, just before you get to
Yeah, I was
Kevin's place.
gonna question that.
Yeah,
What's
Yeah,
going on?
Yeah.
Councilor Grove.
Who's doing that, that work down there where there's 4 or 5 dirt piles, 20 feet high down there on a big cleared area where the tree's been removed, stumps are out, it's pure black dirt in the clearing.
Right.
That's what the
Do we
request-
know anything about that?
Is that at the end of the airstrip?
At the end of the airstrip, right off the end of the airstrip, that's all cleared out there, and there's big piles of dirt there.
Whose lot is that?
It's not village.
That
Is
is-
Airport's not?
I'm
The dirt is
assuming the only benefit could be airports clearing out of it.
wherever the end of the airstrip is.
Yeah, right.
Oh, where's the road? Yeah, it'd be.
Right there. It's quite,
It's not a trail.
I'm almost positive that
Okay.
that lot belongs to owner of Simpson Air.
yeah, so could they do that? Just
It's
Clear.
titled land, and I guess he's clearing it for runway purposes. I don't know what he's going to do with the black dirt. but-
Yeah, no, I just put that out there and pass it, see it.
Okay.
I have no problem with,
Yeah,
out there getting dirt, own transportation and own loading, and if we have got a spot out there we used to use, it was getting pretty cleaned out,
yeah.
Yeah, scrape
How
pretty
does-
hard.
Council feel about, because the lots themselves, all those 5 lots there, they're quite large, right? I mean, there's certainly space there that you could scrape up a little more black dirt. How does council feel about doing what was done before, where if people wanted some black dirt, they could go down with a pickup and a shovel? So that would be mainly people residential who had a small garden plot or, things like that. They could access a bit of black dirt. Basically no charge, free, a little bit of a service, no abuse, no picking it up with a loader, just smaller quantities, because you're only gonna shovel so much black dirt before you get tired of doing that. That was done before, so is
Did we
council,
run out of dirt down there?
We took it all to the landfill, I believe.
Well, the landfill.
I
Oh,
don't know about that, but the black dirt,
Let's do it.
why would it have gone there, I wonder?
That's a great question.
I mean, as far as I know, it just sort of depleted, but, yeah.
because there's all this pile out here. That must be the stuff that's all gone to the landfill too, is it?
That, a lot of that did go to the landfill last fall. When we were
Why?
preparing for the fencing and the berms and things like that.
Don't we have a sand up there?
We do, yes.
Isn't that more preferable than taking dirt?
Well, I think the dirt was more from fence, the base for the fence going around, so.
That road and that dirt on the backhoe, it's kind of contaminated. It's got oil, vehicle,
Council,
so it's.
Okay, back to the
Black dirt, yeah,
letter, yeah.
and the
Well,
letter.
as long as it's not contaminated. 'cause-
Yeah, because this is the daycare we're talking about.
Yes, that's right.
So, yeah, I don't believe they're talking about the dirt on the back road here. I think they're
Yeah.
asking for black dirt like what Councillor Grote's talking about.
Yeah, like I don't know how you
Yeah.
get, like I don't know what the status is of it, if there's enough dirt there, because I do know it's getting pretty thin now. Maybe, you just have to scrape all the grass off and try and find dirt underneath.
Right, scrape another fresh area or do something.
that's on somebody's lot. We don't have a right to talk about.
No, that one's
black dirt.
not possible,
Yeah.
no.
No, not that one,
You
yeah.
said that was Lee's lot.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that what the
not,
one you're talking about?
well, no, down behind the airstrip. You go
Yeah.
around the airstrip and out back there.
In that pink area?
The 5 yellow areas.
Yellow areas.
I'll just,
You either come through the DPW into this area,
Well,
Because further down,
or you come around the
Where that-
backside.
in my opinion, like if they did some
Right,
good
there's just a-
landscaping at the
basically
daycare,
a
they
road,
wouldn't need dirt.
a little
Fix
trail
it
that
up,
comes in through
fix that
here
was-
and goes over
Just get a
here.
bunch of
And the village has in the past
We should just get a bunch
cleared a little bit of an area in
and,
here,
a
which
little bit of
these,
dirt.
all these
Yeah.
lots
Mix it together,
belong,
it'll go grass like crazy.
well, the village
it's all
has a
sand,
lease
though,
over
yeah.
these
Yeah, get a
lots.
little bit of dirt, but
And
mix
they
it.
want to clear a little bit.
well, where
Right
that,
there.
where the transmitter used to be, like it's
Well,
all
I think.
contaminated all down there.
Mm.
And there used to be a dump down there 2 years ago, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm just saying,
Yeah,
just be careful.
Deputy
That
Mayor?
dirt is good, then just let people take it if they want.
Even if it's not good,
I'll
let them
bring my
take it,
truck
it's up to
there.
them.
I'll get some dirt.
I'm fine with improvements to the
Right.
community.
We have the sand on the hill and a lot of us need dirt up
a
on
bit
the
of black
hill.
dirt.
Yeah.
So should we leave it up to the Public Works if they can find an adequate space that's accessible to be able to make enough dirt for Noah and create a pile for people to access,
Who else
perhaps
would you
with
send
pickups
over
and
there?
shovels?
I think we're making a mountain out of a molehill. We have a request for a company to go get some black dirt.
Yeah.
I don't think the village all of a sudden has to drop everything and hike up a mountain of black dirt. I think if they want to go get it, they can go get it. And we can discuss what we want to do with it, maybe at a committee meeting.
Yeah, I'll just get Noah's to.
Let's
Okay.
deal with Noah.
I would
Yeah.
say we okay them to go dig their dirt.
Right.
Yeah.
And then-
Yeah.
It's fine, go.
But
Yeah.
have other people can do it.
Well,
Well,
we
we not for
can,
the
let's,
last few years,
let's
nobody's
develop
done
a
anything.
plan.
Yeah, go to committee,
Yeah.
discuss what we
Yeah.
want to
Let's
do.
develop a plan of how we want to deal with black dirt, if there's any black dirt available.
Right.
We're sitting here guessing.
Yes.
So let's deal with Noah's letter and then we'll do a plan.
If they
Okay.
found some, they can have.
But you're good with that then, eh?
Yeah.
Is that a general consensus then, that we've got the okay to allow the access to some black dirt for the daycare?
I agree with Liza. It's a good idea.
Okay.
I think there was a motion for that, actually.
No.
Yeah, I believe
Oh,
we
there
signed
is
it.
too. Yeah, there we go.
We don't need a.
Motion moved by, you signed it.
That's right.
Motion moved by Councillor Lafferty, seconded by Councillor Rowe, that council approves Noah Enterprises' request for dirt from the end of the island for use at the daycare center. All in favor? Okay, against? Deputy Mayor, were you abstaining? Okay. Okay, so 174, none against. Motion carried. And council matters and concerns. Councillor Lafferty, did you have any councillor concerns?
Tell about it.
Okay, well, if you think of something while we're going around the table,
Okay.
it's always hard on the very first one. Councillor Rowe.
No, I already bought the one about the skidster. Just, gets windy, gets dusty on that main road especially. It's nice to keep it clean. And it'll keep our crosswalks there a little bit longer. It's good to hear about the curling slab. Thank you. And thank you for the Public Works for putting down the crosswalks. That's good to see. Really brightens it up.
Just, that's the old paint.
Okay.
There is new, much better paint in transit.
We got something anyway, so that's good.
So we're
And then my thing is what I brought up the last time. I still see like lots of long grass and ditches, lots of garbage, lots of, just messiness around the village. I don't know, like if we got some people that we can spare to have a trash bag, it's not the most wonderful job, but a little bit goes a long way if you can get the rec department or Public Works to go around, cut some grass, pick up some garbage.
I know the VIC is coordinating a cleanup on Thursday between 5 and 7. So
But I feel like we should also lead by example.
Mhm.
If our staff is cleaning up, it might motivate other people to do it. We can't put everything in the hands of our citizens.
Okay, is that it?
That's it
Councillor
for me.
Rowe?
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Morrow, any council concerns?
I was thinking about town beautification on the SNI and hanging up some signs to keep the ATVs off of it. Would that be possible?
Along the trail along the side?
Yeah, usually in late summer, fall, ATVs will end up driving through the SNI.
Leaving a lot of ruts and.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's been mentioned in the past too, as a concern. People don't like the look of that when it.
There's also geese and ducks now nesting down there, so maybe Arwed might want to chime in on that too.
Yeah, maybe we could get them to help us to put up some kind of sign, bird nesting area, please don't disturb with four-wheelers, something like that. Because it's that and kind of wrecks the place for the picture taking, the views and things. Okay, well, we could look into that, sure. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay, Councillor Hassan.
Thank you. In fact, I have like 5 quick items I want to mention. The first one was the sidewalk to the health center. We've been talking about that like for nothing happened. I just want to know when it's gonna be done. And the second one is the traffic light of the school zone. We mentioned it before also a few times, and I believe it's been budgeted for. And that's the second issue also. The third one is the sign on the one-way road when you are going from Nahani towards the river. If you reach the end of the road, the sign one way, but it's one way on the right, but the left is two-way. So we have problem with signing there. It's the left side is two-way. Yeah, the right side. So I believe we need to check our signage in that area, and at least that's two-way road. And that's one. The fourth is, I don't want to nag about it that much, but we have to follow our procurement policy whenever we want to have any project, and I insist on using local businesses. That does not mean we are born to do that, but it's part of our support to the local businesses. So even if the local business is a little higher than the outside, we still that support our local businesses. And I know that the government of the NWT adopted a policy for that, and they follow that policy. I know we have our own policy, but I believe it's just my advice to the administration when they're dealing with these things, just to be careful on that part and try to get away of that tunnel of argument. You like me or you don't like me. I'm a local business. You have to use me. That's the fourth one. Number 5 is an issue being discussed. I don't want to talk about it that much, but on the minutes, it doesn't hurt to have just a little more information. Like even on the minutes when we came to the vote, one of the council, I believe, Councilor Rowe, he voted against it. It doesn't hurt even to mention that as it's the motion's passed, but those kind of little information, it will give the public, or it give me as a reader, that there is an issue that being raised by a councilor, and what's the councilor opinion, and it's only like 2 words. It won't hurt. So I don't say more details, just like a little more information on the minutes. Thank you.
Okay. And Deputy Mayor Antoine.
I know I missed a few meetings, I wasn't well, but I did want to mention about that road. I noticed that you guys did make a decision to make it a one-way. Which road and which way?
Yeah, that's the road as you drive to the river from the Nahanni Inn.
Right.
And then you basically can turn either way at that point. It would be fine, because the one-way is really from the hospital. You can't turn onto that road at the hospital and drive to the Nahanni Inn. All the traffic is supposed to go towards the hospital. So it becomes a one-way street. We only wanted to have one car at a time on the road, not 2 passing each other and being closer to the bank where it's unstable.
So if I'm way, you'll let me go first?
No, you can't go one way. There's only one way you can go. You can turn at the Nahanni Inn and go to the health center, but you can't turn at the health center and go to the Nahanni Inn.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
And the confusion is that the sign says one way, like as if you have to go towards the hospital, which is not quite true, because once you get to that point, you could drive to the Power Corp too. It's just that's not quite the right place for that one-way sign. It should be only up at where the water survey road, as you turn and come on the riverbank, you can't drive down towards the hand from there. So that's the only place we should really be saying one way.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, it'll take a while to get used to it, I guess.
Yeah.
We will.
Yes, S.A. White?
Just on that configuration, is there any feeling on council of actually not making that street as wide as what it is? So basically, I'll say take the bank side of the road and shut it down to traffic, and so that traffic only moves on the inside of that particular stretch of roadway. Would you like us to explore that?
Okay.
I'd
Council-
feel good if you did.
Councilor Morrow?
Is it possible to move the boulders onto the road?
That's one of the options we were looking at, is bring those bank boulders over in and keep the traffic on the interior.
What about the residents on the road?
I was just,
So it would be more for the intersection of the boulders, and then it would leave the residents clear.
isn't there, like I've seen other communities where, like if there would be a sign at the end of the road on the riverbank saying no exit, So, if somebody's driving down that road and they see that sign, they say, oh God, I gotta turn around. So that's my idea of saying this is,
Well,
There's already
Councilor Morrow,
technically one there.
and then Councilor Hassan.
I haven't seen it.
You have to go more towards the water plant behind the hospital.
Well, we could change it to the end of that road,
Mm.
because that's the issue.
Councillor Hassan?
I don't know. What about my sign which I'm talking about? It's not simply about that sign should not be there.
Right.
No, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
that's
Putting
as
there
simple as
an
that.
exit.
We're adding to it.
Yeah, that sign should be
Send it
moved.
to the planning
Everyone who lives
committee.
there can turn right or left.
Yeah.
But from then you can't, like, if a tourist come and see that sign, that means I'm gonna think that all this road is one way. So I can't turn left when I can't turn left, when everyone can drive to the Port Corporation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Councillor Grow?
Yeah, thanks for bringing it up. And the simple solution to that problem is remove that one-way sign. It's not one way, it's both ways at that spot.
Yeah.
However, going on to the actual discussion on what you should do with that road, my feeling is at the end of the hospital road, you should put a great big dump of gravel there so that nobody can turn that corner. And you go down there by the Nahanni Inn and that sign there says no exit, because it's a very dangerous corner. That one where you go around that corner, it is well under. Then if you go down past the water survey, little booth there, going towards the log house there and Chuck and all that. If you drive that road and you actually look, if you drive on the left-hand side of the road, you're up here. If you drive on the right-hand side of the road, you're 2 feet down. And that's a high drop, and you are, if your vehicle is in the proper lane there, you are about 6 feet from that drop. So when you drive that, everybody should drive that road. And that spot, you stay on the left, or, towards this power plant, or if you drive on the right, you are a couple of feet lower, and if you can look at it, it's sagging and a high spot there. So like, it is a serious thing. There should be another load of gravel put there somewhere so that nobody can go both ways there, but you can still have some. It's really quite serious. You brought it up several times.
Yeah, I'm
And
very
it's bad.
worried about our
I am.
public. It's a huge hazard for our community and it's risk management too. But I did speak to you about maybe consulting with the fire department and with the hospital to make sure that the essential services still has access to those public homes. And then if you put that dump there, we'll have to check with the homeowners there. So they'd be assured that essential services will get there. So if you can just sort it out a little bit more, that would be great. Okay, so my last one is strat plan meeting. I don't know how far you guys got into that. I still want to add that we still need to talk about the framework agreement in there and start putting that in our discussions.
I think we were going to invite the lady who worked with us to come back one more time and put it all together for us. That's what we were going to do. So your idea is good, but maybe we'll just all sit together with her one last time and try to fit those pieces together.
And if you give her a heads up, she'll prepare better for that.
Yeah, on that particular issue, because that'd be something maybe she could add.
Yeah.
Be more prepared,
Yeah. And the wasn't here, and you guys might have discussed it already. Do we have a evacuation plan communicated to all our taxpayers here? On it?
We have a procedure manual,
It's part of our EMO plan.
We have,
emergency
we have
prepared.
fire emergency plan.
Yeah.
We should dust it off, send it out to us. Would be an idea.
Yeah, it's just the fires are coming up. It's a real concern.
Mhm.
And if there's a fire up this way, what do we do over here? If the fire is coming this way, then what do we do there? I know there's a plan where somebody's sitting there saying, "Oh, where are you going, Mike? Where are you going? You're going on a plane. You're going on a boat. And you're on the road." Just a plan. So if I go see somebody up on the hill, I'll say, "We have a fire plan. You know about it?" "Yes, I know what to do with this fire here. This fire here. Shut off my power. Do this, and then get registered and go."
Can I make a
Councillor
suggestion?
Rowe?
Just a suggestion, that's sorry, I don't want to drag it on, but if you look at our flood plan, the fire department actually prepared a thing at this level, this happens, at this level, this happens. You can kind of cherry pick that. I really think what Deputy Mayor Antoine is looking for is something to get like a little mail out to people so that they have this thing like they get for the flood every year. Gas up your vehicle, make sure there's food for your dog, little things that they can do to get prepared for a fire. Like we don't necessarily need to send them the whole EMO plan, like tune to this radio station. I really think that's something that should go to the committee of the whole meeting, or any committee, I guess, to the committee of the whole. And just a little one-page thing that tells people what to expect, the proper channels to listen to, and how to be ready.
I'd like to recommend we bring ENR into our committee of the whole meeting and say, okay, this is what our plan is like. What do you guys have to bring to?
Absolutely.
You actually should bring the fire department also, and maybe the RCMP, because maybe we should have I don't know, because they're all part of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
I think we do have an EMO committee. I'm not sure who's all in it. Maybe they can come up with something. They have access to all kinds of information. Could come up with something just like that.
Well, it is one of the big things is prevention and communication. So those are two roles that we could step up. Now the fire season's coming. Okay, we'll put that on the agenda for, maybe we'll have a look at that, see if we can do, I like the idea of a flyer, maybe showing
Just one page, yeah.
prevention
Things you should
ideas.
do, water handy.
Yeah, it'll raise people's awareness. Let them know we're thinking about it. We're getting prepared ourselves.
Yeah, I sent you some information on that one pager that somebody from BC had.
Yeah.
Good samples already done. So anyways, that's it for me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor. And Councilor Groh?
Yeah, I didn't have anything to say, but this brought so much up. The only other thing is on our plan, we were looking into hiring an engineer for the community. And that's kind of gone by the wayside. We should dust off that idea of a community engineer or what do you call it? Superintendent of Fort Simpson. I believe we used to have one in years past. Planners, whatever you want to call it. And that's all I had. Good comments, guys.
Okay. Alfontaine?
Recently, somebody mentioned that it would be nice to have an air conditioning system in the fitness center. They said it's
That's
very.
being explored right now.
I figured people probably already to bring it up.
Yeah.
Never been there myself.
Okay, so is that it, Councilor Alfontaine?
Yeah.
Okay, Councilor McPherson?
I was down at the gravesite over the weekend, just cleaning my parents' gravesite. What is our role in that gravesite as a municipality? Do we cut the grass or do we just cut little trails between the sites? Because
We do cut the grass. Their plan is once a week to
yeah, I think
do that.
yeah.
I think they are challenged with getting all of it done, just due to the layout of the graves, and
Yeah.
so they do their best.
Mhm.
And I know they were out on Friday doing a lot of it as well. So they do have that plan to get there every week. So
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because some of it's getting pretty messy. But other than that, I see Mr. Deschormes' property is looking a little tidier. But that little building in front of the McPherson driveway, the historical site, that's a real eyesore. Is he using that or what's his plans to, like, is that on his property?
the building.
That little cook
shack?
shack that he has out front.
Oh, and the other. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I suspect he needs a permit to have that there of some sort
He
too.
can't use it there. Gail cut him off using it there.
And it might even be in the roadway.
Yeah.
It looks fairly well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, it looks like he's starting to throw junk into it and, it's just becoming another,
Maybe we'll get a bylaw look into that.
yeah.
Yep.
Because that site is very dear to my heart.
Yes.
That's all I have to say. Thank you.
you. Thank you. All right, do we have any in-camera matters? Nope. All right then, I've got a motion moved by Councilor Rose, seconded by Councilor Grote, that council adjourn regular meeting RM 12-2019 at, somebody got the time?
8:12.
8:12 PM. All in favor? Okay, that's 8 in favor, none against. Thank you very much, everybody. Making sure you get them this time.
I hope it rains with no thunder or lightning.
Are we supposed to get like 35 millimeters of rain?
Yeah, it's coming.
25, but yeah, something crazy.
Well, I hope so, because we need,
Yeah, it's supposed to rain for 2 days straight. or something like that.
That was drying the whole place.
we got all the grass cut today at the,
I hope so.
yeah, the
Thank you very much.
airport's coming to it.
Yeah, we do that. Did you see that fire that was out? You need to get some more air conditioning in here. On the highway, I think somebody said the other night.
It's very
Someone said
warm.
Sibston Lake.
Too much discomfort for them.
Yeah,
I got a cold from, that's where I got my cold, is from our office.
because I saw some firefighters from
Which
Fort
office?
Smith here too.
Over at the government office.
And the bird dog was
Oh,
flying out that way.
So
Well, we have a big air handler unit in here that will
Yeah,
turn on tonight, and it'll be nice in here in the morning.
yeah.
Then it sort of warms up through the day, and that's why we
how-
should have council meetings in the morning.
That's how I got my
6 o'clock
cold.
in the morning when I'm awake.
Good night, guys.
Okay.
Good night.
So we'll coordinate a tri-council meeting. I'll let you take the lead.
Well, it won't be till probably late July,
Okay.
just because we're
What's
having
going on?
assembly and, and I'm departing August 11th.
Okay.
Until the middle of September.
Okay.
Going
Somewhere
back,
nice?
going to Italy.
Oh, nice.
Annual,
Awesome.
annual trip home.
Want to bring an extra hot
Skype,
with
we'll
you?
Skype you in.
Okay?
We'll Skype you in.
Yeah, yeah, hey, we can do that.
You love a nice room.
I'm dedicated, but give me a break, I'm on a holiday.
Yes, you don't want to.
No. Like, that's, I'm sure I'll leave everything in capable hands. You want to, phone read? I'll tell you.
Okay, sure. I'll just leave my glass.
Clean your mug up. Geez, I shouldn't say that, that's still on.
Dump the water and rinse it. Oh, there's a janitor or something. They can take care of it.
Oh, it's good.
Okay. Good night, everyone.
Trip